on page 152 in Teshuvah. I want to repeat the last sentence Rabbi Soloveitchik said last night, and that was, "Kshem she'en Teshuvah shlema, ad shelo hiviya et ha'adam levidui." Just like Teshuvah is not complete, it's not a real Teshuvah, unless it has brought about a person to this experience called vidui. 153. Kach en havidui vidui, so to the confession, the vidui is not a real confession. Im eino bokeh ve'oleh mitoch kivshona shel Teshuvah, if it does not burst forth in flames out of the furnace of Teshuvah. It can't be mechanical. It has to be a real experience. Yesh lanu klal b'dinei mamonot. We have a rule in the laws of money, finances in the Talmud. I have to tell you something that Rabbi Soloveitchik is going to do now. Rav Kook has a famous letter in which he discusses why it is the Jews are running away from Judaism. And one of his more famous answers in this letter is, Azavnu et nishmat haTorah. We have forsaken the soul of the Torah. The soul, S-O-U-L. Because sometimes we learn Torah, we teach Torah, we write Torah. Here's how you keep Shabbat. You have to make tea with 2 cups, 3 cups, 1 cup, half a cup. First goes the tea bag, then goes the sugar. First goes the sugar, then goes the tea bag. All these laws, but we've forgotten the beauty. Why is it that we even keep Shabbat in the first place? The same one who's given a class on the laws of Shabbat. Ask him, why do we keep Shabbat? Why can't I cook on Shabbat? What's the purpose? What's the message? What's the idea? Rav Kook says we've become so focused. Not that we should get rid of the details, chas v'shalom. But we have to zoom out and say, where's the bigger picture here? What are we talking about? What is the point? And what Rav Soloveitchik is doing is a classic move where you take a piece of Talmud that is very technical, it's very dry, it's not the kind of thing you would quote in a spiritual discussion, and he's going to inject some kind of soul into it. In the laws of finances, our rabbis tell us, Dvarim shebalev inam dvarim. Matters of the heart are not substantial. They don't hold weight in Jewish law. For example, if I come to a place and I say in my head, I'm going to buy this house, and then someone else buys the house before me, just because you thought you wanted to buy the house, that was not enough of an action to reserve the house for you. If you had signed a paper and you shook someone's hand, perhaps that could count. But just thoughts are not enough. If you are serious about what you want, if you really intend to do something, say it. You should have said it. You know those people that, what did I tell you? They come to me, I know it's going to be a girl. I know what the baby's going to be. I know, and then it comes out as a boy. I told you it was going to be a boy. If you knew it was going to be a boy, you should have told me 2 months ago, right? Don't tell me now when you already know it's going to be a boy. The ones, the people are there watching some show, they're sitting there, I knew that was going to happen. If you knew it was going to happen, I don't believe you. Tell me 5 minutes ago that it was going to happen. Now I'll believe you that you knew it was going to happen. If you're serious about something, say it. Put it out. Put it out there. So long as a person did not do vidui, did not confess it with words, and teshuvato teshuvah, his teshuvah is nothing. Yecholhu lachshov belibo, he can think in his heart. Mikan ve'elach, from here on out, ehyeh shomer Shabbat. I'm going to keep Shabbat. Esgol chanuti im knisat Shabbat. I'm always going to close my store when Shabbat begins. Ehyeh yashar, I'm going to be straight, v'hagun, and fair. V'lo arameh ba'asakim, I won't trick anybody in my business dealings. I've been helping a family buy a Sefer Torah for 2 years now. 4 sofrim, almost each one at a different time, almost sold them a Sefer Torah that was pasul. Asking for it, mehadrin. I'm not a sofer. These people are not buying me a Sefer Torah. But they know that I know some sofrim in Jerusalem, and so they'll say, oh, we're in this market, we're looking, can we send you a page? So they'll send the page, and I guess they don't have a lot of money to buy a Sefer, that's why they're looking at such bad Sefer Torah, but you're a trickster, you're wearing a hat, a kippah, you're wearing, you're trailing people, you're a sofer, and you're just a liar like anybody else. And by Sefer Torah, do you have any Sefer Torah that are being sold in the market are stolen Sefer Torah? Right. They already have a way to inject GPS trackers on the klaf. on the parchment. The rabbis have allowed for a little clip that goes in that way, because when people steal the Sefer Torah, they have to know where it goes. They're just busting out a bunch of religious guys in Tveria that would go to the old synagogues, and they have them open for the public to view them. They break into the ark, take the Torah, and because they were religious, they walked out. Nobody thought twice about it. You're going to steal it. How do you go to sleep at night stealing a Sefer Torah? And then you sell it to somebody. You can imagine the community that buys a Sefer Torah. And they have no idea that the Sefer Torah they're using was stolen from somebody else. It's a crazy world, dude. But mirma, trickery, thievery, it's in every business. Every way there's a way to trick. You go to a car mechanic. What's the reason you went to a car mechanic? Because you couldn't fix your car on your own. If you'd be able to fix your car on your own, you wouldn't go to the car mechanic. The car mechanic knows that you can't fix it on your own. And therefore he knows he could tell you all kinds of things about the car and what's wrong with it and what happened to it. And you know, your car, the transmission is missing. Now the poor guy, she's a 16-year-old girl. Her parents gave her a used car. She's living in a different state. She goes, my transmission. Oh, so I have to get how you need 2 new transmissions. Now she doesn't even know. She pays, and I'm exaggerating a little bit. They use other words, other things. People don't know that. That's not really a problem.
Well, there's a lot of famous little things, like
they do it to women
the
more.
CV boot. Your CV boot is cracked. It can crack 500,000 miles. And they make it sound like, oh my gosh, you're ready to.
I have an important.
But this is a real problem. This story here.
There's a real problem here, at least in my mind, and that's that one has to be very careful what one promises. You may do a real tshuva, but if you say, well, I'm going to be Shomer Shabbat from now on, or I'm not going to open my store. What if you don't have the means to do that or the way to do that? I mean, you're really flying on an act of faith, or saying, I will never do that again. Some people have addictive behaviors, and it would seem that to be consequences to go back and do it, that one should be careful about what one says one's going to do when speaking before Hashem.
Sure, but that's already a different kind of, you're talking about a repeat offender, somebody who does this all the time. And they're always pledging they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that, and they never do any of those things. We're talking here about a person whose tshuva is coming from a genuine place. They've realized that something they're doing is wrong, and they have, the only thing stopping them from changing that is themselves. And so this is their nail in the coffin of I want to take it upon myself to not do something.
Maybe I'm just cynical, or something. It's not very common for that to happen. It's almost like an epiphany when that happens, and a point of major change, which really takes a lot of growth and time to get to that place.
That's why tshuva is something that needs to take, the whole process here is much longer than when other people will say tshuva.
Right. Because people say all kinds of things on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and
I think everybody says all kinds of things in Yom Kippur, and then they find themselves just 2 hours after they finish eating that sandwich, that all of a sudden they're doing the same thing they did 2 days ago.
Yeah, that's why on the Mincha of Yom Kippur we have the laws of, forbidden relations. Don't think just because you're so high right now and so close to me.
It's going to last forever.
Yeah.
Very nice. I'm going to study Torah. Make time. Set time to study Torah every day. Once a week, once a month. I'm going to set time. It says, Kol elu machshavot tovot hen. They're all nice thoughts. אבל כל זמן שלא ביטא אותן בפה, אין אלו בגדר תשובה. Until you've said these out loud, in a way that you realize that you just said something that's bigger than your thoughts. It's not tshuva.
But I'm still a little cynical about this, because it seems like the things that a person actually does are not grandiose. That they're actually, you come to a point of realization, I'm going to make more time Limud Torah 1-2 nights a week. It seems like the right thing to do right now. Now, I see the light, I'm going to, you know what I mean? It's not so dramatic.
Who's making it so dramatic?
To say that you're going to close your store on Shabbat and keep Shabbat from now on, I don't see change happening like that so drastically.
Why not? How else is it going to happen?
You say you agreed. I'm going to start learning about Shabbat.
He did. This is after many years of tshuva.
Oh, after many years.
He's been doing tshuva now for who knows how long.
I'm talking like Elul and this.
This is not an Elul tshuva. This is a year-round tshuva. This is something he's been thinking about for a very long time.
Well, that's
That's what we've been talking about. He's been planning this for a long time. The vidui is the final step. Havidui hu haklimax. That's again not a Hebrew word. It's the climax. Shel talich hatshuva, of the tshuva process. Rak achrei havidui hi beshela v'yichola litargem l'maasim. Only after vidui are these thoughts now ripe enough to transform into action? I once had the Biala Rebbe came to San Diego, the son, not the father. Many of you met the father, but the son. One of the sons, correct. And one of the synagogues in town didn't allow him to come speak there.
Or you walked him over.
So he came up with a good idea that we should walk him there. And I did. I was 13. I walked him there. And he stood up. He stood up in front of the synagogue. When they came, the rabbi wasn't still thrilled he was there. So as in the middle of their third meal, he just decided to stand up and give a speech. And he got up and gave a speech. And he started off with the following sentence: Jews who do not observe Torah and mitzvot have more heart problems than Jews who observe Torah and mitzvot. Yeah, seriously? That's the statement he's going to make? He said, now let me explain myself. He said, I don't mean medical heart problems. He said, there's always that guy who, I keep kosher in my heart. My heart, I love Shabbat. I'm so proud of being Jewish in my heart. He says, but how long are you going to overload your heart until you decide to actually do something? He said, instead of just keeping everything in your heart, just keep kosher. Then you can get it off your heart. Your heart can go back to its normal routine of pumping blood like it's supposed to do. He said, but if you keep everything inside, it's all inside of you. You're so Jewish inside. He said, you're always ready to combust at any point in time. He said, part of this process of Teshuvah must be to get some things out of yourself. And I never saw in my life observance that way. I never saw it as almost a relief as opposed to a stress. You know, there was once, don't hold me to it. I believe Rabbi David Aaron was once with Larry King. Larry King's Jewish, right?
Right.
This one.
Yeah, he is.
I don't know. What is sort of. Okay, Jewish. So he told him,
He's Jewish.
he said, listen,
Mary's on
what makes you Jewish? Something like what makes you Jewish? A question like that. And he answered, I still feel guilty every time I don't go to synagogue. That Jewish guilt that people carry around themselves, it's a
paralyzing.
It is a and it's, by the way, this is the kind of Judaism that scared many people away from it. And there are people who think that it's still a great idea to perpetuate this kind of Judaism forward. But, to be said about it, if you would go to synagogue, then you wouldn't feel the guilt, right? So then the way for you to leave your guilt would be to go to synagogue, no? If the guilt is bothering you, you can't sleep because of this guilt, so just do something about it. Sometimes you have to get it out of your heart. And vidui is that first step that you take, that the word of salvation is it ripens your teshuvah to the point where you're able to bring it into the world of action. And Rav Soloveitchik concludes with the following paragraph. We've been on this journey for a few weeks now. Halukach katav Rambam. This is what the Rambam wrote. Beperek Gimel Milchot Teshuvah, in the third chapter of the laws of Teshuvah. Umahi Teshuvah. What is Teshuvah? Hu sheyazov hachote chet'o. Is that the person who did a sin must leave his wrongdoing. V'yasiro, and he should get rid of it. V'yigmor belibo, and he should decide in his heart, shelo ya'asehu od, that he should not do it again. V'chen yitnachem al sha'avar, and he should feel regret that he did it in the past. V'tzarich lehitvadot bisfatav, he has to confess with his lips. V'lomar inyanot elu shegamar belibo, and to say these things that he thought about in his heart. You know, Rav Soloveitchik just spent the whole chapter so far explaining the importance of saying something. And then he goes back to the Rambam and reads into the Rambam that the Rambam agrees with him. Remember we mentioned Rav Soloveitchik's relationship with the Rambam? The master always has to win. The rabbi, but he said something, and now he's going back to show you, you can read this very clearly into the writing of the Rambam, that it's not enough just to think about Teshuvah, but your lips have to do what your mind has been thinking. Havidui, confession, the Divrei HaRambam, verbal confession, according to the Rambam. Hu'efo, this is again not a Hebrew word. Concretization.
Concretization.
Very good. Shel HaTeshuvah, of the Teshuvah. Hadibur noten lemachshevet HaTeshuvah mamashut. Speech gives now tangibility to the actual. What is the word they use?
Concretization.
It's tangible.
The tangibility to the mitzvah.
Mobilization.
It makes it tangible. It makes it something that has now something to it. Hu nikudat hasi. It is the the highest point, ואקורד הסיום של תהליך התשובה הפנימי הממושך. This is right now the highlight. This is the top. This is the peak of Teshuvah, is when you're able to say, everything that I've been thinking about for so long, I'm now going to take it and put it into words so that I'll be able to take that next step and actually do it. Vidui. Vidui is important. And we can't stress how important vidui is. And perhaps before a person does vidui, there's a halakha that says that when you do vidui, it has to be loud enough that you can hear yourself, but not loud enough that someone else can hear you. Why? Why do you have to hear yourself? What's the whole point of vidui?
The verbalization of it.
Verbalization to who? To Hashem. Hashem can hear you even if you don't.
Yourself. You have to
To
know
yourself.
everything.
Oh,
To
okay.
yourself. From here you learn Hashem. The whole point of vidui is not so much for Hashem. It's for you. You have to be able to bear your soul to this point where you're gonna. I'm gonna have a speech with my neshama and I'm gonna tell it things that I would rather it not have to hear. And then you have to make sure that other people don't hear it. You're not commanded. You're not obligated to humiliate yourself in front of other people. You're not commanded. You're not commanded to let the whole world know the things that you did wrong.
Confess to another person.
Yeah, it's not confess here between you and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sometimes people will come to me and they'll say, "Oh, Rabbi, you know what I did?" I said, "I am not a priest. I do not take confessions. You have something to talk about? Go talk to God. That's not my jurisdiction." Oh, you want help in how to talk to Hashem? That I can help you with, but I don't do dispensations and Hail Marys. This is not my profession. It's not what I do.
Yeah, there's a situation where you confess to somebody, but you don't have to do anything.
Correct.
You just,
And this is the exact. I mean, there. What does it say? Confession has nothing to do with changing myself. Here, the vidui is only a next step. It is the next ring in the ladder. Rung. Rung on the ladder. I'm really
Ring,
forgetting my
ring,
English.
rung.
Understand?
Yeah.
The next rung on the ladder to make sure that you are in the next step to actualizing your teshuvah. I think that the next chapter about vidui is something that I'm not going to plunge into. I would rather delve into the question of Rabbi Soloveitchik. We're going to skip to page 169 next week, and we're going to discuss the difference between Teshuvah out of love and Teshuvah out of fear. And I think at this point it's fair to let you know that this week's events have pushed me to write a very short pamphlet about rabbis, real ones and fake ones. Teshuvah, the value of Teshuvah out of love versus Teshuvah out of fear, out of scaring people into doing Teshuvah. The bad effects of negative Judaism on the human soul. B'ezrat Hashem, I don't know if I'll finish it before the Chagim, but we started last night with a little bit of discussion, and I feel that you should know that something good will come out of it. The good that will come out of it is this brand that Rav Soloveitchik is going to tell us. He says there's two options for a person who's come to do Teshuvah. The two options are either I have to erase my past, I must burn my past, or I have to uplift my past. And Rav Soloveitchik says that sometimes the Baal Teshuvah is forced into a place where he must destroy his past. And I said, this is not correct. This is not the path of Judaism. And that's the part that I want to learn with you. Then before Rosh Hashanah, and God willing, we'll be doing that next week on
some of
Monday,
it was
Tuesday.
common 20 years ago, 30 years